A very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for GR86 action here at the Forefront Toyota GR86 Championship presented by the Tanso Racing Group. Hello, everybody. Welcome along to the JP Broadcasting Network. And you join myself, Alex Goldschmidt. I'll be bringing my colleague, James Parfitt, into the commentary booth very, very shortly. We're at round 6 at this moment in time. So let's give you an update on the scores so far in the respective categories. In terms of the pros, it's Josh Arnold leading on 341 points, 31 ahead of Daniel Wareham. Eric Ronenberg, who's a three-time winner this series so far, rounds out your top three, equal on 290 points with Jack Holland. Matt Benson rounds out your top five, followed by Lee Martin, Alex Kubelis, Sam Berry, Dan Forster, and Chris James rounding out the top 10. In the Pro-Ams, it's James's 20th cousin, three times removed from Canada. Matt Parfitt leads the way by just 9 points ahead of Alexander Claudio. Harry 7 and Carlos Romao round out your top four. Then we got Simon McPhee, Connor Greer, Connor Pink, Matthew Massey, Dinan Bronze, and Ryan Clark rounding out your top 10. This is now the halfway point of this 12-week series as we are now at the fastest circuit in the United Kingdom, none other than Thruxton, just outside of Andover, and also Southampton here in Hampshire. This circuit measures just over just measures over 2.35 miles, 12 turns in all. First opened back in 1950, and also is the circuit that hosts the headquarters of the BARC, the British Automobile Racing Club. And we're into the final 3 minutes in qualifying, so without further ado, good evening, James Parfitt. It's good to be back alongside you, buddy.
Good evening, bud. I hope you are well. It's going to be an exciting one, my local track, and I do mean local. It's about 45 minutes up the road from me. We've been there a few times watching World Superbikes and the British touring cars. Went zooming around here as well. It's an absolutely amazing circuit. The interesting thing about this circuit as well, since its configuration back in 1950, it's only had 3 layouts, and it's been running this layout since 1968. Right the way through to 2025 and still going. So hopefully it will stay as it is. It's an amazing circuit. It's practically an oval with a few squigglies. That's the way I put this circuit, because it is literally one long run right the way from Noble, right the way round to Club, which is turn number 1, bar the chicane in the end of the lap, as you can see down in the bottom left-hand corner of the track map, down into Club. So this is going to be an exciting one. I'm going to be interested to see how this one pans out. We've got 27 people in the session, 26 of set times at the moment, but it's going to be exciting. I think that's the thing. Touch wood, hopefully everybody who was here last week will have seen a black screen on the final corner of Zandvoort. I do apologise. Hopefully I've managed to sort them issues out and the PC will behave itself.
Yeah, and at that moment, well, you were talking to me about that before we went on air, that Ryan Dudley managed to finally pick up the win, the 3:44 from Wales, but it is Eric Ronenberg that leads here in time qualifying by a 10th head of Ryan Dudley. And then we've got Dan Forster, who we're with at the moment, as he's making his way through Brooklands and into Club, the chicane that brings us on to the stretch, which is very, very short on the run up to the sweeping fast right-hander here at Allard. Simon McPhee, who hasn't had the best of luck in recent weeks. He's either been at the sharp end or he's been turned around, unfortunately, but he's rounding out the top 4, leads in Pro-Am ahead of Robert Barber and Connor Greer. At the moment, well, Connor Pink has had the old mechanical black flag against his name. He's yet to secure a win in this series. Daniel Wareham is also around the circuit, along with Lee Martin in the 3:49. So at the moment, Wareham rounds out 15th. Lee Martin currently P20. But 26 cars at the moment, well, from 1st to 25th, rounded out by Puerto Rico's Carlos Romao, covered by just over 2.6 seconds. But you can see all the way down the leaderboard, we've got a gap no higher than about 0.7 of a second, and that's between Paul West and John Johnston, all the way down in 23rd and 24th. Of course, one of the big things about Thruxton, apart from it being nearly as flat as a Dutch Strutwafel, it has got a lot of slipstreaming opportunities, so we're going to at least see a lot of pack racing here tonight, JP.
Yeah, definitely, and that will be the thing coming into this race. It will be who's going to get the run out of Seagrave up through Campbell and Cobb, and then get the run down into Club, the final chicane. Now, I don't want to say that the final chicane is hairy, but it is quite hairy. You can go, I say you can go too wide, but it's goddamn, you got to facilitate each other, because if you don't, you're in trouble.
Yeah, you've got to definitely have a set of stones on you to do that. Let's take you through the grid for the opening race. 20 minutes on the counter. Eric Ronenberg will start on pole position. Race 2, winner last week, Ryan Dudley will start alongside on the front row. Dan Forster and Simon McPhee, row 2, followed by Robert Barber and Conor Greer, who ran at row 3. Alex Kubelis, Jack Holland, Alexander Claudio, Josh Arnold, Connor Pink and Eugene Webber round out your top 12. Matt Parfitt starts the second page on 13th position. He'll be joined by Matt Benson from Valhalla Motorsports. Daniel Wareham and Joseph Lopez will be on row 8, head of Dinan Bronze. Casper Roost, Roy Cardinal and Lee Martin, who complete the top 20. Completing the top 12 rows will be Jason Brennan, Ryan Clark, Paul West and John Johnston. The last 3 drivers set to line up on the grid will be Carlos Romain, Matthew Massey and Dominic Johnson in the 212 from the USA, bringing up the rear of the field. Of course, the format is as such. It will be a 5-minute break after this one, and then following on from the results of the top 20, we'll invert that grid for the 25-minute feature for race number 2. As everyone is nearly readying up, but Dinan Bronze is yet to make it to the grid. The 5 red lights start to ignite here at Thruxton in Hampshire, and race 1 now gets underway. Lot of wheel spin from the majority of the field as Eric Ronenberg gets the whole shot. Meantime, Dan Forster pulls alongside and noses ahead of Ryan Dudley. Looks like Barber's got a black flag, Clark's got a black flag. Roy Cardinal has also started from pit lane, but Eric Ronenberg got the jump initially. Dan Forster following him through as they go into Campbell, Cobb and Seagrave for the first time. Connor Pink is making his way. He's just got through on Josh Arnold. But Ronenberg already starting to build a gap. Look at Simon McPhee, he's keeping really close to the rear wing of Ryan Dudley. Won race 2 at Zandvoort last time out, unfortunately with the technical difficulties that James suffered with in the broadcast. But we will keep you updated all the way through these next 2 races. Next week, it was Sonoma. It's going to be Phoenix Raceway in the amended calendar for round 7, which will take us through to the halfway point, or more than the halfway point of the series. But I think Ryan Dudley is going to get the double toe here from both Forster and Ronenberg as they come through out of Church, one of the fastest corners in UK motorsport. Now it's the run through the sweeping Parabolica style corner here at Brooklands, and they are topping out at more than 130 miles an hour.
Absolutely, it looks like Barber jumped the start, Clark jumped the start, Cardinal jumped the start at the same time. I think that's why all of them men jumped to the pit lane. Paul West looks like he's had some drama. Ryan Dudley's made a move. You can see Barber's just built into the pit lane. But Dudley now on the right-hand side, up through Allard. We're going to go into Campbell. Dudley's got Forster pushed out here. Is he going to be able to hold that line? Can he get along? Oh no, he nearly got alongside to make the inside work going into Campbell, but unfortunately he just couldn't. Simon McPhee leading the Pro-Ams currently, but there is some battles, Alex. There are some tasty little fights going on here as well, and it's got more action than the card that had Jake Paul on it as well, but there's more people going around, unfortunately.
Connor Pink's one of them.
Yeah, Pink's gone round at the same time. Matty Benson's there. It's all kicked off a little bit with Dan Wareham at the same time.
See a replay here from the helicab as Daniel Wareham on the outside of Connor Pink turns in.
Oh,
and back, a little bit of contact.
Connor bounced the curb.
Yeah, he did bounce the curb and left front contact at the right side door, and that meant that Wareham tumbled all the way down to 21st position as we go down to the field. A little bit. He's got 8/10 of a second advantage over Dan Forster as we're on board with 3:44 of Ryan Dudley, the man from Wales, coming through out of club and now heading back down the start-finish stretch. Completes lap number 2. Dudley is only about 2.1 of a second to go through Allard. They're going to accelerate up the gearbox, 115 miles an hour at 5th gear. And then it's going to be a little bit dab of the brakes. A hard dab of the brakes as all Dudley's so close to the back bumper of Forster. Benson, Romain, Johnston and Pink, they've all got slow down penalties. Carlos Romain has bolted his way up the order, 10 spots, 25th on the grid, now runs 15th. He's about 8 and a bit tenths behind Mr. Zoomies himself, Joseph Lopez, as Ryan Dudley coming through out of Seagrave and into Waterloo. Goodwood, he's taking a big amount of curb. He's definitely threading the eye of the needle when it comes to limits of adhesion.
Oh, dude, they're going to have to be careful. This is off track. Oh, I don't really know how to put it. They're kind of very finicky. Run wide like that, and then if you mess up the last chicane, that's why all of a sudden when the cars went through the last chicane, there was 3 off tracks. Bang, 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 bang. Come on the timing tower. That's because it is so rough with off tracks down in that corner, and literally you've just got to make sure you don't touch the inside there and you stay away from just a little bit further than where Dudley was. But a couple of off tracks are going to dictate this as Carlos Roman is there with
That was the 3 wide moment there for the briefest of times, and Casper Roos was on the inside of it, and that was coming out of Brooklands. But meantime, Carlos Roman to the inside gets through on Jason Brennan as they head through Allard. Paul West, the other Welshman in the field, gets the slowdown penalty. He's just quickly served it, but look who's closing in on this trio. There's Dan Wareham, and he's possibly looking to the inside here at Campbell on Casper Roost. That's nearly door banging between the pair. He keeps him round the outside of Cobb, and Wareham gets through for 16th position. Nice tactical ploy there by Wareham to use the slipstream from Roost and then use the side drive coming out of Cobb, and now he's right with Messrs Brennan and Romain, who are playing musical chairs. Carlos Romain going a bit sideways. Wareham to the outside. I don't think you want to do that, I'm afraid, coming out of Goodwood, but he might get the run through Village and coming into Church. Romain to the inside. Brennan and Wareham. Wareham's right on his rear bumper. Brennan cuts across the front of Romain, who bangs door panels with Dan Wareham, and here comes Casper Roos. The dangerous Dane is closing, and he's got through round the outside of the Puerto Rican.
Yeah, Roos is looking at the inside of Dan Wareham at the moment, going into that final chicane. Again, it can work too wide, but you got to facilitate it. Roos was offline, and you can see there straight away, Carlos Roman closed right in on Casper Roos. He didn't get a good run. Roman won race 2 at Zandvoort last week as well. He's got the bit between his teeth here, shooting around the outside, going to start running into Campbell Cobb. Wareham clears Brennan there. Brennan's got to slow, well, Rooster's got to slow down now, so they've both all got to just hit the brakes at some point. But you can see in the mix of all of what's going on, JT, John Johnson, has got himself in the fight at the same time. These guys battling away is going to be absolutely incredible. There is fighting up front with Dan Foster and Ryan Dudley as well, but they're on the run down into the club.
Yeah, this is getting really, really close for comfort for anybody that is in this race so far. We've got 27 drivers, they are still running. We're about to complete lap number 5 here at Thruxton, and more to the point, Eric Ronenberg is losing that lead. It's gone down to about 2 and a bit tenths of a second. Ryan Dudley, Simon McPhee is also in the mix for this with regards to the possible race win here at Thruxton. As we now complete lap number 5, Simon McPhee is the fastest out of anybody, but Dan Forster has just taken the fastest lap of the race, 1 minute 20, 42.08 by the 300 from Simtech, riding on board with the rear roof cam at the moment.
Oh, Dudley! Blimey, I thought he was going to come on the smack then.
Oh, yeah, he was very, very close
Oh, it's
indeed.
cutting.
I know that JP is trying not to drop an expletive during the broadcast, but very, very close. I like how you definitely used the song reference there to cover up. There we go. Swing, bada, 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 bada. Swing, and here goes Dudley. He's swinging from the branches right now, and he's got through on Forster, and now Ronenberg is going to have to fight with these 2 drivers behind him. Dudley's got through.
Dudley's going to go now. He's going to catch the draft. It's going to be a rundown onto Eric Ronenberg coming into club at the moment. The problem is neither of these drivers can really jeopardise their entry into this corner, because if you jeopardise the entry, you're going to mess up the exit. That's the problem. Keep this low, keep careful with the off track sunshine. Dudley, I knew it. Too much on the inside, and unfortunately he can't slow down. Now he's got to use his brain here. Now the Dragon's got to come out, and he's got to be smart on this one. He can get it off, but he's going to have to play Campbell, Cobb and Seagrave. He didn't play Campbell, Cobb and Seagrave. Smartly. allowed them to go through. Oh, dude, I would have been slow in 1, slow in 2, and hopefully it would have gone by the time I come out 3. But look at the final chicane. JT got it. Johnston's got it. Claudio got it. Dudley got it. They've got to be careful. That final chicane, dude, I've done a race here in an MX-5. Apart from 2 laps, every one of the other 10, I got slowdowns on. It was horrendous. That last chicane is terrible.
Yeah, and it's all going to come to a head at some point, I'm sure, because Ryan Dudley is going to use the slipstream from Dan Forster. And here we go, through at Church. Dudley to the inside. Forster keeps the throttle pinned, uses the outside exit curbing to his advantage. And Simon McPhee now makes it a 3-way scrap for 2nd, 3rd and 4th position. Can he get the jump on the man from Wales, the Welsh Dragon? But at the moment, it does not seem to be the case. They get through the first part of it very, very neatly. Did all 4 of them, but Simon McPhee, I think, might have just slowed up a little bit, just so he doesn't cut the track. As we've seen him. Yeah, he is pretty much there, but he's losing time. Dudley, however, and Forster is still battling away. That's given Eric Cronenberg a 1.1 second advantage. Here's John Johnston in the newly livery Tanso car, 257. I kind of like that, but look who he's got right behind him. He's got Robert Barber going to his inside through on the start-finish line and through into Allard. John Johnston, because of Barber, drops down into 20th position. And nevertheless, John has made up 4 places in this race so far, despite Barber having just gotten past him.
Yeah, he has as well. Don't forget Barber jumped the start at the beginning and unfortunately had to go into pit lane. Claudio's mixed up in a battle with Eugene Webber and Lee Martin. The WE Racing filling between the Syntex of Webber, Martin and Parfitt. So they're all squeezed up there. Dudley and Forster have swapped places again. Dudley got Forster once more. I like the fact that this man is playing this quite clever. Staying with them to get the draft, but he's not jeopardising anything. He's making sure, watch how he goes around the final corner. He ain't quick by any shape of the imagination through that chicane, but he's still staying in contact and keeping him ahead of the likes of Claudio, Parfitt and Korea in that Pro-Am. So well done, Simon McPhee. Proper using your head, son, and I love a bit of smart racing. But there is going to be more and more action, dude, all the way through this race. Some of it's going to come from downhill.
Yeah, and that's going to be around about 8th and 9th position because Lee Martin is closing on the pair of Eugene Webber and Alexander Claudio, who are battling away for 8th position at the moment. They've been doing a bit of Chuckle Brothers musical chairs, you know, like to me, to you, to me, to you. And Lee Martin said, well, if you two want a party, I'll make 3 a crowd right about now. But Claudio bumps over the curbing, coming out of Seagrave, but he's got the run on Eugene Webber. Lee Martin has jumped up 10 places. In the meantime, Carlos Romao, who was up to 15th, has now dropped down into 17th as John Johnston and Robert Barber. Again, they're playing musical chairs. Rob Barber's lost 13 positions because he jumped that start, had to serve the black flag penalty. And, well, Jason Brennan has just ended up in the pits, I'm afraid, the 242 that started 21st. And there's a bit of damage I think he's having to repair on that car. But meantime, Lee Martin trying to close in on Claudio and Webber for 8th and 9th respectively. But at the minute, he's just playing the waiting game.
Yeah, Martin's sat in the background at the moment. Just want to make sure they go in his final. No, don't.
Cheeky.
He thought about it, didn't he? Lee Martin looked at the camera and went, nope, I'm going to go this way. Because it's literally, it's not the entry, it's the exit of that final. It's the final right-hander coming out of that chicane that causes the problem. So he had to stay off it. He turned, and he knew he turned too sharp because he went, oh, nope, I'm going to go back here. I've done that wrong. So he's got to go again as Lee Martin as he's chasing down these people. But Ryan Dudley has caught right up to the back of Eric Ronenberg. They've dropped Foster, Dudley has, and he's now closing in on Ronenberg. Dudley got the bit between his teeth here.
Yeah, and when you think about it, the last time Eric Ronenberg took a victory was at race 1 at Daytona. His best effort since then, Sandport race 1 where he placed 2nd. But Ryan Dudley looking to make it 2 for 2 in successive races, and no one has done that this season so far in either class. So could Ryan Dudley make the change? Oh, and he's bump drafting on the back of Ronneberg, nearly gives him a little bit of a tag as they go into club corner. Dudley to the outside, maybe just to circumnavigate the curbing, and they both get through rather cleanly. Whereas Ronneberg keeps that lead. It's about 2 and a bit tenths of a second. So Ryan Dudley giving Eric Ronneberg a run for his money, and bearing in mind that Eric Ronneberg, despite having had 3 wins, 2 seconds, he's 3rd in the series. And Ryan Dudley, well, he's already 14th and he's already had 1 win. So can he make it for 2 for 2? We've got 6 minutes still remaining, and he's right on his rear bumper, coming out of what will be Seagrave, as now they're going to head through into the sweeping left-hander at full acceleration at Noble. Dudley loses a little bit of time. Ronneberg uses the curbing as they now head through the sweeper here, the right-hander at Goodwood.
Yeah, it's a run now all the way down through Village. This is the one that's going to be very, very particular. You see the tyre barrier on the right-hand side. At one point, you've got to aim for it about now. You're aiming at the tyres, aiming at the tyres, aiming at the tyres. Woo! Just missing them and grabbing that curb on the right-hand side. Dudley's got a run here. Is he going to be able to get on tucked in at the moment? Is he going to be, the thing is he leaving this too late? Is he going to try and drop down Foster, or is he just going to try and keep Ronneberg in his sights for a couple of laps, maybe a lap and a bit from the end? I don't really know. It's a very dangerous game to play when you start hanging on to people to try and get them on the final lap, because I've seen it not work, and I've seen it work. So it's very, very, very chancy that Dudley's doing this, but you can see on board with Dudley at the moment, he is all over the back of Ronneberg, literally climbing all over that pink machine.
Ronneberg's got nowhere to breathe at the moment as they go through back again into Campbell, Cobb and Seagrave, and Dudley is looking for the overlap possibility that the 344 might have in the pocket, but at the moment, well, the way that Ronneberg is able to exit out of Seagrave, might be using a little bit of curb with the right side wheels, but that is playing to his advantage. But it's here through into Noble that Dudley gets the overspeed, and he closes that gap to about a 1/10 and a half as they go through Goodwood, 2 tenths apart, about a car length and a half between the pair.
No.
Dudley runs off the circuit, but he keeps the throttle pinned. He didn't lose much time. He was very, very lucky. Ryan Dudley did the right thing. He kept the throttle lit, little bit of steering to the right, keep it pointing that way and stay on the black stuff as much as you can, and that has not cost Dudley that much time, but it cost him the opportunities of going through Brooklands back into club corner. We're coming up to just under 4 minutes remaining, which will be 3 laps, including the one that we are just about to start, so we complete lap number 13 of the race. And Dudley, as you said, he is picking his moments. He's waiting. If Ronneberg makes a mistake, Dudley will be all over him like a rash.
Oh, he's all over him already, isn't he? Let's be real. Sitting there at the moment, Ronneberg can't get rid of him at all. And it's through the right-hander, through the left. Dudley takes this a little bit different. Now he's going to try and get the run through the right of Seagrave. Dudley's on the power now, pushing Ronneberg as much as possible. Running him down into Noble here, Dudley, and he's got to make sure he can stay close currently. Through the left-hander, then it's going to be this long run for Dudley. This is his moment. This is his opportunity, Alex. He can get him here.
Yeah, he's just got to keep it on the black stuff as they're now coming out of Goodwood. Then it's the full throttle surge down through Village, over the slight undulations, and now point your way towards the tyre barriers here at Church Corner. And Dudley this time absolutely nails the apex, but he's gone a little bit wide on the exit. However, that's not hurt him. He's right with Ronneberg. What's Dudley going to do here? He's going to pull to the right-hand side of Ronneberg, and he's going to try and get through. It's going to be by a whisker. Can he stop it inside? The answer is yes. He's through for the race lead, but he gets the slowdown. Oh, he did not nail that chicane. He's got to serve that slowdown penalty. Oh, what a shame for Ryan Dudley. And now Ronneberg will know he's got an off-track cut. And then all of a sudden, well, they're nearly wheel to wheel coming through into Campbell. Dudley serves that slowdown penalty, and he's got to do all that work. Once again, we've got this and one more lap to go. Ryan Dudley, you've got to put it all on the line and be picture perfect through club corner. He cannot afford to make that same mistake twice.
Yeah, he's going to go early. Is he going to go early? Oh, Dudley. God, you 4 wheels on the green stuff. Got to be careful. why this is happening. Foster's coming in at the same time. Forster can get it here. Dudley's got to try and keep this car. He's got to keep a calm head. He's pushing Ronneberg. He's got the run on Ronneberg, but Foster in the background is coming at him quite quick. 120 lap times, let's not forget. So it's possible that this guy could be doing one and one more. So we're going to find out very, very shortly whether or not there is going to... there ain't going to be one more. This will be the final lap of the race. Eric Ronneberg, Ryan Dudley side by side going into club. Is he going to be able to get there? No, but he's got to nail this. He gets his slowdown again. Could be all over. He doesn't get it. His final lap, final ding dong. Bell's gone. Come out swinging.
Garrett Love, good to see you in the chat, buddy, as well. Thank you for joining us here on the JP Broadcasting Network. But more to the point, Ryan Dudley, can he make it 2 for 2? 2 successive races, because nobody in the series so far since we started on the 4th of January at VIR, and then went to Ridskogen, Snetterton, Daytona, and last week Zandvoort. Ryan Dudley has got one more opportunity as they're making their way down into Noble for the final time here on lap number 15. 30 seconds on the timer. We will be checkered flag this time around, and coming through into Goodwood, Dudley sweeps wide through into the middle part of the circuit and now is within a car length, not even that, as they come through out of church, going to come through Village. Ronneberg goes to the tram lines on the inside. Here comes Dudley with a head of steam. Ronneberg parks it on the apex, but it might be the case. Ronneberg goes wide. Ronneberg gets wide, and that's going to give Ryan Dudley the lead, who is going to take it. Ronneberg's going to serve that penalty. That's going to allow Dan Forster to go through as we head into club for the final time here on race 1, round number 6. Can it be the double? 2 in a row out of the final corner. Dudley's done it! Dudley does 2 back-to-back wins here in forefront GR86.
Great run from him. Simon McPhee comes over the line. He takes the win in the Pro-Ams as well. Eugene Webber and Jack Holland have just swapped places with Matty Benson. Benson's got a slow break. You've got to break, Matty.
Wide.
Oh, he did break. Lee Martin did not break. Martin got a penalty. Because he got to slow down. Paul West is having a right old ding dong with Carlos Roman. I'm not quite sure where Carlos is going. Oh, Paul, you missed an opportunity, son. Roman's got to slow down. He's got to break. West is going to get there.
It's going to be 3 wide to the line here. It's going to be
West.
West gets it.
Oh, dearie me. What an ending. What an ending. Ding dong. What an ending. Slow down for Ronneberg on the outside of Church. He got that wrong. Foster comes through. Oh, dude. Oh, going to need these 5 minutes to chill out, I think.
Ding dong merrily on high indeed. We've still got a couple of drivers left to complete our finishing order. Matthew Massey, unfortunately, out. Lee Martin will get a post-race penalty because he did pick up a black flag. So that's going to drop him outside of the top 10 overall as Roy Cardinal and Dominic Johnson complete the finishing order. But Ryan Dudley has finally achieved what no driver has done so far. 2 wins on the back of each other for the man from Wales. The Welsh Dragon does it. Wins race 2 at Zandvoort and follows that up with race 1 here at Thruxton, finishing 0.5 of a second ahead of Dan Forster. Eric Ronneberg rounds out your top 3. Had it not been for that slowdown penalty, I think the 3:17 would have stayed and won and take his 4th win of the series, but he's got to wait another few minutes to try and do it again. Josh Arnold, Simon McPhee ran out your top 5. McPhee takes finally a win in the Pro-Am division after a lot of trial and tribulation. For that man. He hasn't had a win yet. He's had 2 firsts, he's had a 3rd, and now he picks up his 1st win in the series. Alex Kubelis, Jack Holland, Eugene Webber, Matt Parfitt, Matt Benson, Daniel Wareham, Connor Greer, Connor Pink, Casper Roost and Robert Barber round out your top 15, with Parfitt and Greer rounding out the top 3 in the podium. Paul West, Carlos Roman, Joseph Lopez complete your top 18, and now very shortly we find out who's going to be on reverse grid pole. It's going to be Spectre Racing's Ryan Clark, because he finished behind Tanso's John Johnston. Dylan Bronze, Lee Martin, Roy Cardinal, Dominic Johnson, Alexander Claudio, Jason Brennan and Matthew Massey round out the finishing order. Matthew Massey, unfortunately, 4 laps down at the end of the race, but Ryan Dudley, what a well-deserved double victory in a row by the Welsh Dragon. And as they say, tidy darts, boyo, in South Wales. I don't know whether it's South or North Wales, but I don't really care. I tried to throw in the accent there for good measure, JP.
Yeah, absolutely. That's going to be one of the things, dude. That final corner, see it as well, where somebody was just like, "Oh no, slow down." Break just before the line. It was like a scene out of Lightning McQueen out of Cars where he breaks and then drives back and pushes King. You know, it was like, oh, dearie me, I need to get rid of this. So, yeah, absolutely amazing. I thought it was a great ending. 2.5 minutes to go of warm-up.
Yeah, we have to give a big shout out to the title sponsor of the Forefront Toyota GR86 Championship, our friends out of Calgary, Alberta, Canada. That's Forefront Fabrication and Design, who are helping to put together a $450 total prize pool for our Pro and Pro-Am champions, respectively, at the end of the 12 weeks, where there are 2 drops scores allowed. $150 apiece for the runners-up in the divisions, $50 apiece. And then for third place in Pro and Pro-Am, $25 apiece. Of course, those wondering about what Forefront do, they combine advanced technology with master craftsmanship to deliver superior custom metal fabrication solutions. They've got a 13,000 square foot shop in Calgary, and that's equipped to execute projects of any size, complexity, from structural steel to specialized components. A big thank you to them for their support of the Toyota GR86 Championship presented by Tanso Racing Group. But race 1 was a corker. I think race 2, JP, could be an instant classic here tonight.
Oh, mate, this run as well. We've got the reverse grid. We've got Slowdown City taking place at Club. It's going to be very, very chaotic. Oh, just to let everybody know, you cannot drive down the runway. I've tried. Only go so far. Having a go. So, but what I'm interested in going to see here as well, how are they going to cope with the reverse grid? Is Dudley going to be able to get through, or is Ronenberg going to play the patient waiting game and pick places off where he can?
Yeah, it's just one of those things where you're just going to have to pick your moments. It's one of those circuits that, I mean, I remember going there just after COVID had happened, and I still remember what was it? I think it was Andy Neat coming together with Jade Edwards coming out of Allard, and then there's this almighty smack carbon fiber and, you know, BTCC parts all over the shop, because it is one of these circuits that over the years with Clio Cup, when it used to be part of the Toga support package, Ginettas, Minis, BTCC, British GT, whatever's run around here, it is one of those circuits that you make one wrong move, Thruxton bites you in the backside quicker than a crocodile in the Floridian Everglades. That's how brutal this circuit can be. There's plenty of runoff area if you're on the right side of the track. If you're on the left side of the track, I mean, just remember when Josh Cook went off in that, he went off and he hit the tree down at the bottom of church, didn't he, off of the tyre barriers in a very, very saturated qualifying, and instantly brought out the red flag, but it was a big old hit. I remember, I think Tim Harvey must have been clenching something at that point, because it was not an easy sight.
No.
He's done plenty of touring car racing, but here we go. Grid for race 2, the 25-minute race here at Thruxton. Ryan Clark will start on the top 20 invert pole position, joined by John Johnston. Joseph Lopez Carlos from out road 2. Paul West, Robert Barber, road 3. Casper Roos, Connor Pink, Connor Greer, Daniel Ware, Matt Benson and Matt Parfitt round out your top 12. Eugene Webber, Jack Holland, Alex Kubelis, Simon McPhee, Josh Arnold, Eric Ronenberg, Dan Forster, Ryan Dudley, Dinan Bronze, Lee Martin, Roy Cardinal and Dominic Johnson round out the top 24. Completing the grid will be Alexander Claudio, Jason Brennan and Matthew Massey, with the 2 Spectra racing cars starting at the back end of the field. Waiting for a few drivers to ready up. Joseph Lopez is the only one that we're waiting at the minute. He's going to be starting from pit lane, as once again here for the 25-minute feature race for race 2. Round 6 is now green. We're underway. Ryan Clark gets the initial hold shot, pulls away from John Johnston. meantime, Robert Barber has got through on Carlos Romao, through at Allard, as now it's going to be 2 by 2 Noah's Ark style. They are fanning out nearly 3 wide in the middle, the lower part of the top 10. But Ryan Clark instantly dashes away into the distance. Connor Pink looking to the inside, here into Campbell, might get through. Daniel Wareham now up into P6. Connor Pink trying to go through on Paul West, who's in that nice, I have to say, nice little bit of ingenuity with the 3 stripes of Adidas running down the side of the car from the roof down to the wing as side skirts. This was nearly 3 abreast between Wareham, Barber and Ramat behind Casper Roost, and here comes Robert Barber through on Dan Wareham. That's brave coming through out of Goodwood.
Yeah, he did a great job there as well. Some great starts here. You can still see further back. Look at the gaggle of machines. This is the fight in the mid-pack, and they've got the rundown into club to go yet. I don't even know how this is going to work out, because you can see there on the screen at the moment, all the cars behind, especially Eric Ronenberg's in there. He's trying to make his way through the recognisable pink with the yellow of Dudley. Dan Wareham's got to slow down already, but it's going to be an interesting fight going into the club at the moment with these guys. Are they going to make it through? Connor Pink looks like he may have just grabbed the curb a little bit. What about Dudley? He got through. Ronenberg got through. Roost, Wareham, Foster did not get through. They all got slowdowns coming out of club, but you can see the battle with Robert Barber up front and the 2 Syntec boys of Dan Wareham. Oh, Matty Benson, sorry. Very similar livery.
Yeah, the man from Valhalla Motorsports battling away. He's currently running P6 at the minute, but oh no, there's drama there. That is going to be Carlos Ramat. He's ended. Oh, he's just clapped it into Casper Roost. He just hip checked him, and it's caused skittles behind. Roost is off. Barber is off. Oh, and now it's nearly 3 wide.
Oh my God.
It's Matt Benson's just been turned, and he's going to get a tag slapper. Eric Ronenberg's got nowhere to go. Matt Benson's spinning around, and Lee Martin just about avoids him by going all 4 wheels onto the grass. Exit stage left.
Poor old Matty Benson was like a pinball at a 10-pin bowling alley. He was all over the place. He got hip checked, then he got hit, then he got hit again. He spun one. Oh, poor old Matty. But these guys still continuing to fight. Eric Ronenberg coming up behind Eugene Rebber. Dudley in there. It's going to be 3 wide again here once more. As these guys, where's Ronenberg going to go? Where's the Syntec and Webber going to go? Going to be a
what about
fight.
McPhee?
Oh, McPhee. People.
Arnold's got to slow down. Claudio's got to slow down. And look, Ryan Dudley is ding-ding round 2 with him and Eric Ronenberg. They're running 10th and 11th respectively. Here goes Connor Pink to the inside of Dan Forster, who keeps the throttle pinned. Round the outside he goes. That was coming out of Allard. Dudley's through briefly as they go into Campbell, Cobb and Seagrave. Ronenberg's got to watch it. Dudley to the outside. Not quite. Ronenberg noses ahead, but Josh Arnold is yet to serve that slowdown penalty. But that is Carlos Ramat, pulled off to the left-hand side of the circuit, and he's just towed it to the pits.
Yeah, he did. He got a big slap there as well. Unfortunately for Carlos Ramat, he was ended up facing the wrong way. But look at this at the moment. Jared Love looks like fun chaos. Dude, this is amazing. He's involved in this one. You'll love this Sunday because it is going off like an absolute ding-dong. Look at Ronenberg. They're almost going to be 3 wide with Arnold. Dudley's going to split the Simtex straight away. Dudley's on the inside. Ronenberg's got nowhere to go. Who's the Banshee? Dan Foster's the Banshee coming through like an... he's been hit. No, his teammate.
No.
Foster's hit him. Ronenberg's out.
Off.
Did Arnold... Oh, Arnold, hang on.
I think he must have been holding tightly to the tightrope. Let's have a look on the helicam. Here comes Forster, the howling Banshee. So here we go. Arnold goes right to... Oh, no. Oh, there might have been a little bit of a touch between Ronenberg and Forster.
It was, yeah.
And they did not involve Josh Arnold, so he was all clear. But this has changed everything. It's now Ryan Dudley right behind Eugene Webber in the 388, and more to the point, bearing in mind, Ryan Dudley, within the first 5 minutes of this race, has climbed up a whopping 13 positions. So has Alexander Claudio, that started 25th, now runs a couple of places behind him, I think. Well, let's just see, runs 12th. So Ryan Dudley is now going for the outside move on Eugene Webber. Don't. Careful, Ryan. You know what happened the last time you went 2 wheels on the grass? You had to grip it and rip it. But on this particular occasion, he's got... Josh Arnold has got through back on him. And there's going to be Holland, there's Pink, there's West.
Dudes, I don't know. Take a breather, because this is literally going to be absolutely flat manic for a minute. Dudley's in there, Holland's in there. They're going to try too wide. Final chicane not going to work. Dudley, did you get away with that? You just about got away with it as well. Connor Pink's in there, Holland's in there. They're going to go 3 wide once more. They are 3 wide. Pink's on the inside, Dudley's in the middle. Holland's ahead just about, and it's going to be very, very manic. Oh, that was West actually. Sorry, Paul. There in your Adidas machine as well. But you can see Dudley and Holland still going side by side. Arnold in the Simtech. Holland's trying to go again. Leave him alone. Oh, no, he didn't leave him alone, unfortunately.
Oh, dear. Well, Jack Holland's just been turned around. Unfortunate circumstance for the 325. It was going to be nip and tuck, and a light little touch. Is that steering a little bit flummoxed as well, because he was turning left. The car was trying to turn right. I'm not sure. Let's see.
That's going to be hard, dude. There's no straight. Looks a little
it's all right-hand straights here.
Yeah.
It looks like the steering's okay. It might have just been a little bit of a glitch maybe on iRacing that I saw. But meantime, I mean, now it's all going to kick off. Here's Ronenberg, Matthew Massey in the 287. Let's not forget about him. He's up 13 spots. Alexander Claudio now up 14, runs 11th on the field. So look at this, Matthew Massey versus Eric Ronenberg, Joseph Lopez, Lee Martin, then we got Jason Brennan, Dan Forster, Jack Holland, Roy Cardinal, the recovering Casper Roost. Zoomies gets the slowdown penalty because of the chicane, but 7.5 minutes in, Matt Parfitt is 4 seconds away from Ryan Clark, the 239, who leads overall and also leads in Pro-Am. And let's have a look. Ryan Clark, his best effort was of 2nd place for Spectra Racing back at the opening race of the season at VIR. And here we are in round 6. He had a 0 score at Zandvoort Race 2. Could he be the next driver that's going to win a race in not just, I mean, the thing is that it will be I think, will this be the first time a Pro-Am this season has won a race overall?
I think so. Ryan Clark actually was 3rd at VIR in race number 1.
Sorry, 3rd. My apologies.
It's all right. No trouble, mate. No trouble. They kind of haven't got gold, silver, bronze. It's gold, bronze, silver. But Ryan Clark, grabbed the 3rd place at VIR. He will be, I think, the first ever Pro-Am winner has run. I think Connor is in chat. Connor, hopefully them Spectrum boys are waiting this week. Mr. Pie, whatever that says. There has been a Pro-Am win overall. When, who, and by what? Claudio, Massey, and Holland slow down in the final chicane here as well. Please tell us, because we clearly don't remember.
Well, I've slept a little bit since then, and I wasn't around for Zandvoort because I was on my travels, and I'm on my travels next week. So
I don't think it was Zandvoort. I was there at Zandvoort.
Yeah.
Zandvoort. 3 wide again, 2 Simtex and Dudley.
Yeah, Dudley's really fired the warning shot across the bow to the Simtech boys and said, right, I might be on my own, but I can definitely put up or shut up. And that's exactly what he's shown. Oh, it's Peter. It was Peter Woodmore, VIR. Thank you, Peter. Thank you for reminding us, because Peter is not... Oh, Peter, you're not in with us tonight. Oh, that's a shame. I mean, I know that he's had a lot of troubles in the midpoint, through the majority of the season after he had a couple of wins, and that was actually, that would be race 2 VIR, so that could be the case that if Ryan Clark picks up the win, that will be the 2nd time in a feature race this season that a Pro-Am driver would take an overall win. But still, nevertheless, I'm looking at it this perspective. Ryan Dudley's just done the first sub 1 minute 20 of the evening. 1 minute 19.978, fastest lap of the race. And get this, he is 7.5 seconds behind Ryan Clark with 15 minutes on the ticker left to go. Could this be something we haven't seen in a very, very long time in Tanso GR86 circles, that someone's won 3 on the bounce.
Well, it's possible, but we're going to have to find out whether or not Dudley's going to do it there. And is he going to be able to take 3 out of 3? It's going to be very, very tight. Ryan Dudley, I don't think he will. I've got to be honest, no offense, he's quick. Don't get me wrong, he's 7.3 seconds back, but he it up with Simon McPhee, and Josh Arnold is just about to try and go up the inside of McPhee on the run here. Is he going to be able to make this work? Coming through Church currently at the moment. Dudley sends it full pelt. He is going to get there at the moment.
Oh.
Now over that Simtech boy as well, Josh Arnold. McPhee's going to tuck in. There's another Simtech of Eugene Webber. Dudley's on the left. Here we go, Arnold's on the right, Dudley's going to go through. Arnold defends from McPhee, of all people. He defended from the Pro-Am. I thought he might have just defended from Dudley, but Dudley put him in such a position that he actually managed to get there and get the job done before they entered the final chicane.
Well, the thing is that Dudley has been lapping consistently so much quicker than everybody else. I mean, when you consider how much quicker on that last lap that Ryan Dudley was in comparison with Daniel Wareham, he was a second quicker. So he's been averaging anywhere between half a second to a second quicker in front, quicker than those in front of him. He's just done a 24.7, a 21.4. Clark's done a 21.7. Parfitt 21.7. Conor Greer 22.2. Wareham 22.4. So Ryan Dudley, there is an outside opportunity if he can make it work, because he's already bridged a gap of about half a second between himself and Josh Arnold. One of the things that I've noticed about Ryan Dudley is how close he's actually got to the tyre barriers through at Church, because when he got through on Arnold, he pointed it towards that tyre wall, and look how close, like he's nailing it every single time going through, and he's just done a 17.584 middle sector. And he's done a mid 19.8 in the opening sector, so he is gaining time. That gap has now come to under 2.3 seconds. So I'm going to keep an eye on the lap times of the leaders. And Dudley that time did not get a slowdown. Gap now down to 2.3. And let's just see, 21.0. And now Josh Arnold is actually bringing along. So I think that if Arnold and Dudley, they work together as an indirect tag team like the WWE, they might be able to close in on the quartet up front, and then we could see a battle royale between these two for the race win. That's what I'm fearing here.
Dude, Dudley is driving absolute limits. The wheels of that car. There was another way but he's driving the absolute wheels off that at the moment, and he has pulled that gap down, and he just needs Josh Arnold to get in behind him and give him a little bit of a push. Now this is the corner we're talking about coming down the Church. He runs wide in general, and then he'll sweep it back in, and as he sweeps it back in, look, when I said to you, you've got to point at the tyres, you've got to point at the tyres, because that's the only way you can maintain your speed. So Ryan Dudley absolutely doing a fine job. Ryan Clark running away here like an absolute trooper for Spectra, but he's kind of got to try. That's too slow. Look how much time he needs to go. Get a little bit quicker going through that final chicane to escape. He's got 11 minutes. Got Parfitt and Greer, 3 Pro-Ams taking the top 3 spots here, which is absolutely amazing for this guys as well, with Dan Wareham tucked in 4th. Ryan Clark trying to run for the hills, but at the moment he's being brought back in again.
Yeah, he's losing about nearly half a second in the middle sector and losing 3/10 through sector number 3. So that's around about a cumulative loss of 8/10. And gap now down. It was 2.3. It's now 1.6. And now the gap between Wareham and Dudley has come down a couple of tenths in the opening sector, as they're just about to go through. They're just going through Noble now. So Arnold is with Dudley at the moment. Wareham trying to see if he can get through on Conor Greer. And that's for P3 overall. Wareham at the moment he did pick up the win in race 1 at Sandford last week, as here goes Dudley and Arnold. Dudley's now going to drop to 6, but here they go through into Church. This time it's Josh Arnold that gets close to the tyre barriers, and Simon McPhee gets a big old lick of overspeed coming through that corner. He's right on the rear of the 344, the Welsh Dragon, down through Brooklands. Now into club corner. McPhee will have the inside line, but he decides discretion is the better part of valour. Just under 10 minutes to go, and it's 5.25 seconds that covers from Clark all the way down to now what it's going to be 6.3 seconds down to Connor Pink. So very, very closely packed top 8.
Yeah, absolutely. Dudley there managed to get over Arnold finally. They did swap 3 places. Swap 3 times in that last lap alone. Parfitt's brought Clark back into this. The problem for Clark isn't the Parfitt the problem. It's Wareham, it's Greer, it's Dudley, it's Arnold, it's McPhee. Poor old Ryan Clark could get swept aside here and be bullied like the kid at school. So he's got to be careful at the moment. He doesn't want to lose that much time. If he can hang on for at least another couple of laps, he might be in a good stead and be able to hold on to, I don't know, 3rd place or something like that. The problem is if he gets swept aside really easily, he could plummet down the order as Wareham and Parfitt swap places. Yeah,
the thing is that with the gap now being at 1.4 seconds between Clark and Wareham, make that 1.65. Parfitt, if he gets through on Clark, what will happen is that Parfitt will become the most successful driver in this series, because at the moment there are several drivers tied on 3 wins apiece in the classes. And Ryan Clark now gets to slow down. Hopefully that's not going to compromise his lead too badly, but at the moment Eric Ronenberg, 3 race wins in Pro. In Pro-Am, Carlos Romain and Matt Parfitt both have 3 wins apiece. If Matt Parfitt wins in Pro-Am, he'll be the most winningest driver overall out of both classes in this series after 12 races, and he'll have picked up 1/3 of the Pro-Am wins so far this series. Other race winners include Alexander Claudia, that won the Snetterton 200 race 1, Harry Seven won the season over at VIR, Carlos Romain has 3, Peter Woodmore has 2, Brian Dudley has 2, Aaron Myers has 1, Sam Berry has 2, Matt Benson has 1, and so does Josh Arnold and Daniel Wareham. They're on 1 apiece.
This is anybody sitting at home watching this, if you're missing this for whatever reason, kick yourself. This is one of the best races of the year. You can see McPhee having a good old go with Arnold. Dudley closing in. He's got Conor Greer now 1.5 seconds up the road. Spectra Racing is down below a second, son. You're going to have to get a little bit, got a little bit of a wiggle on. Because you are getting brought in very, very rapidly by this pro. And he's bringing Parfitt and Greer with you as well. Who'd have thought of heard their words on a broadcast? Parfitt, one of the most winningest drivers in the season. It certainly ain't me driving there, Sunshine, I can tell you that much.
Well played for saying that as well, JP, I have to admit, mate. But still, Ryan Dudley is the only driver this evening that's done a fastest lap of the race sub 1 minute 20s. Now it's nearly 2x2 hurrah between Connor Pink and Simon McPhee. They are battling for what is effectively 4th in the Pro-Ams. They've got Eugene Webber right behind them. So now the gap between Greer and Dudley has expanded to 2.6 seconds. And Ryan Dudley, I'm afraid to say this, folks, with 6.5 minutes because of the amount of battling he's had between himself and Josh Arnold. His lap times have suffered. Daniel Wareham last time did a 21.1. Ryan Clark 20, a high. Oh, no. That's going to now put that out of reach, I think. I think that's it for Ryan Dudley, whether he can prove me wrong, but that can be the case of when these top 4 start battling, as now Daniel Wareham has the race lead. Here goes Matt Parfitt for the Pro-Am lead. He's side by side, door panel to door panel as they go through into club corner. Ryan Clark to the outside of Matt Parfitt. Oh, he just about nips his way through. That was great tactical driving by Ryan Clark to the outside of Matt Parfitt, and I don't think Matt Parfitt knew what hit him.
No, I think Clark pulled it there. I think it was amazing. I'm wondering whether Clark needs to be around Erin Ronenberg, slow down, final chicane, around other people, because that battling, that speed he had through that final chicane, we hadn't seen it when he was on his own. So I'm wondering if he needs to be around people to make himself go quicker. It's like a mental thing. You drive around on your own, you relax, you chill out, you just go, yeah, this is like going on a Sunday drive with your dad. But Ryan Clark obviously is now sitting there and he's getting a little bit more racy and realising, oh, duty, Parfitt and Greer both in my class, I've got to get a wriggle on. It's all right with Wareham where he is, it don't matter about him. It's the two behind him that's the problem. So for Ryan Clark, he's got to go full defense, full Jose Mourinho. I don't know what he's got to do, but he's got to do something here, otherwise he could get swept aside.
Or he might need the hand of God from Diego Maradona.
Ooh.
You never know. Oh, that's a bit of a wide berth there for Matt Parfitt, and that's going to allow Conor Greer to close on in. So at the minute, Ryan Clark hopefully looking to stay ahead of the two behind him, as we've got 4.5 minutes remaining on the count. So we're about to complete lap number 15. So that'll give us around about 3, maybe, well, we're going to be close. It's probably going to be 4 laps tight on time. So if we're doing 1 minute 20, let's say 1 minute 22s, that's going to be 3 laps. That's basically going to be 3 laps, the 3 to 4 laps that we got left. But at the moment, while the gap is closing, look at this. Ryan Dudley has broken away from Josh Arnold. Now he's got clear air, and this could be the opportunity he needs to have that impetus to push. Now, bearing in mind, in comparison with Conor Greer, Ryan Dudley, 1 minute 20.694 last time around. Conor Greer, 1 minute 21.07. Matt Parfitt, 120.90. Ryan Clark, 120.99. Wareham, 120.94. So it is going to be a tall order, but whether Ryan Dudley, despite that moment he had off track, if this top 4 start to bang 7 shades of Shinola out of each other, we could see a little bit of a resurgence from the man called the Welsh Dragon, Ryan Dudley. Here goes Matt Parfitt on the inside, through into Club Corner, and is he going to get through on Ryan Clark at the chicane? Yes, he's got through. Matt Parfitt now is ahead.
Clark's going to come back at him.
Yeah, Clark had the traction coming out of the final part of the chicane, and he's right on the rear bumper of Parfitt as they go through Allard. Here on lap number 17, 2 minutes and 54 seconds still remain on the timer. So this plus 2 to go here at Thruxton before we head to Phoenix Raceway in just a week's time here on JP Broadcasting. But more to the point, oh dear, it hasn't gone well for Robert Barber. He's just got a slow down penalty. I think chicane at the end of the lap maybe. But Parfitt now starting to pull away from Clark. Dudley now closing that gap. And that gap is now down to 1.6 seconds. It was closer to 2 seconds towards the end of the previous lap. But Matt Parfitt now pulling away. Conor Greer to the inside. And now this could be that Ryan Clark from Spectre Racing may be only as high as 3rd in the Pro-Am division. As here comes Conor Greer, close to the tyre barriers, through at Church Corner. He is through, 3rd overall, 2nd in Pro-Am, and the gap now between Dudley and Clark is less than a second for the first time. Got this and 2 more laps to go. So round about 4.5, well, nearly about 5 miles of competitive racing, and Dudley has come in to the final chicane. Parfitt gets the slowdown, and now Wareham's got a 2.3 second advantage. It's going to be 3 wide for second going through to Allard. It's Greer to the outside, Clark to the inside, and Greer gets through for the Pro-Am lead. And here comes Ryan Dudley. Where on earth did you spring from, sunshine? Heavens to Betsy.
Oh, they're going to be too wide. Going to be too wide. Dudley's going to do Clark a solid here, because he will get over Parfitt, and he did do there for Ryan Dudley. Now it's Josh Arnold's also going to put Matt Parfitt under pressure. Parfitt's going back the wrong way here. Not the first time I've heard that on a broadcast, but these two continue to fight. That's Parfitt down again. Now Clark has got to use this time. He's only got a little bit of it, but he's got to use it. And look who's come out on top. The man sitting in 3rd in Pro-Ams at one point, Conor Greer. But now Ryan Dudley should clear Clark. And if I was Clark, I'd slot him behind him. Use him. Use him.
Yep. Yeah, that's going to be the big thing that he can do now, because Josh Arnold is closing. He's bringing Matt Parfitt along for the ride. Down through Brooklands for the penultimate time. We've got 30 seconds still to go. 1 more lap here at Thruxton to decide race 2, round 6 of the Forefront Toyota GR86 Championship, presented by Tanso Racing Group. Greer gets the slow down. Greer's got a slow down. That's not what he needed right now. He's got to have to serve that, and that's going to give Dudley the opportunity It might not be the it might not be the three-peat for the man from Wales, but you know what? He's going to give it all he can. The gap is between Wareham and Greer, 2.7 seconds.
Oh.
And Greer has yet to serve that slowdown penalty. There was a little bit of a touch a little bit further back, I think. Might have been Parfitt into pink.
Yep.
And so now on to Noble for the final time. Greer has served that slowdown penalty. Here comes Dudley through at Noble. No hesitation needed for the Welshman, and he's through for P2 overall, but Wareham is running away with it, and he's already making his way through to Village for the final time here on lap number 19 out of 19 here in race 2 at Thruxton for round 6 of the series. Daniel Wareham has waited so long. It could have been that the dream of a three-peat would have been great for Ryan Dudley, who is still battling away with Conor Greer. But when it was all said and done, Daniel Wareham, he took his first win at Zandvoort. Race 1, he's going to pick up the win in the feature. Here at race 2 at Thruxton, it was Dudley at race 1 who will pick up second position. It's a run to the line between Greer and Arnold. It's going to be a photo finish, and Greer nips it by 8/1000ths of a second. Clark takes second in Pro-Am. Parfitt P3, Connor Pink, Simon McPhee, Eugene Webber, and Eric Ronenberg round out your top 10. But it all came to one moment, and Wareham seized the opportunity. Carpe diem for Dan Wareham. He picks up his second win of the series.
Yeah, great run there down to the line as well between Greer and Clark and Parfitt and Pink. They were all fighting out. Pink and Parfitt literally went over the line practically together. It was very close from them two, but there's just a couple of more to finish off. It's going to be Casper Roos, unfortunately. Poor old Casper did not get overtaken before Dan Wareham went over the line. So Casper...
He got yeeted into the Danish...
Yeah, but on the final lap, Wareham was right behind him, and all Roos had to do was just let him through and slow down, and then he wouldn't have had to go round again. But unfortunately for Casper, that wasn't the case, and now he's got to go round again. So there we go. He's coming into the final bits here, but that was another solid race. I love Thruxton. No matter what cars you put around it is amazing racing. Don't get me wrong, GT3s and stuff like that would be a bit, but like 86s, F4s. Skip Barbers, Clears,
Super Formula Lights.
Yeah, Super Formula Lights, anything like that would be absolutely amazing. And just proved it there. MX5s would be another one. Clios would be awesome.
Well, Daniel Wareham picks up his second win of the series. Finally, he gets a feature win, and he finishes just 3.4 seconds ahead of Ryan Dudley. The Welsh Dragon could have done it 3 for 3, but one moment earlier on the race denied him 3 successive wins back-to-back, which no one has achieved so far this series. Conor Greer picks up the win in Pro-Am ahead of Josh Arnold, who rounds out the top 3 in the Pro Division. Ryan Clark and Matt Parfitt. Well, Parfitt, you still got to try it again next time out at Phoenix. Maybe you can get your 4th win of the series and become the winningest driver. Connor Pink and Simon McPhee round out the next couple of drivers ahead of Eugene Webber and Eric Ronenberg, who ran at the top 10 overall. Alex Cumulus, Lee Martin, Jack Holland, Alexander Claudio, Dinan Bronze, Joseph Lopez, Jason Brennan, Paul West, Matthew Manez, Massey, Roy Cardinal ran at your top 20. Casper Roos, Matt Benson, Robert Barber, Dan Forster, Carlos Roman, Dominic Johnston, and John Johnston out early. Okay. Joseph Lopez, this is put in chat, JP. Lopez here. The reason I started from the pit lane is I'm a dummy and forgot to add fuel to the car. I just still barely finished on fumes. Well, at least Mr. Zoomies is very upfront and honest whenever we've spoken to him. But it's time for... He finished. He finished nevertheless. So well done, Joseph. But we have got one driver we do need to speak to, and he led for the majority of the race. Let's bring in Spectra Racing's Ryan Clark. Ryan, so close, mate. So close, but still.
Yeah, those guys are just too quick.
Well, I mean, we were sort of like, we were on a bit of a wing and a prayer, because it was only a matter of time before we thought, oh yeah, the last chicane seemed to be your nemesis a little bit at club. But when people were around you like Wareham and Parfitt, you sort of kicked up your spurs a little bit and managed to get the exit out really, really nailed down well.
Yeah, I don't know how. Just pure luck, I think. But no, those guys were just too quick. I mean, I only had two laps practice before qualifying because I just finished the 6 hours of Jerez in GT3. So,
Oh,
I mean,
ouch.
to do a podium in the second race, I'll take that. So without much practice. So yeah, I'm happy with that.
And at one of the the fastest circuit in the UK, mate. I mean, you held your on for so long. I mean, you were running away with it. We saw a gap of nearly about 3.5, 4 seconds, and it
I think it got up to
slowly.
like 6 seconds at one point because
did
I
it?
think because they were fighting.
Yeah.
But then it closed down pretty quickly after that. Once they sorted their positions out and used each other, they just closed the gap instantly. But I had no slip. This is a slipstream circuit, and I had no slipstream. So.
Well, you gave it your best shot, mate. That's the main thing. That's the main thing. That's all we can ask of you. But well done tonight. Before we let you go, anyone you'd like to thank in particular?
Yeah, good job with the with Jay and Matt and their finishes as well. Yeah, it's a good all-round finish, I think. So on to next week.
Yeah, on to Phoenix Raceway, replacement for Sonoma. You looking forward to that one?
Never raced it.
Well, you're going to have to get the wheel time in then, I'm afraid,
Yeah.
Ryan.
Dude, that's not the answer, bro. You'd be like, yes, I'm going practiced. I've practiced there for hours.
Yeah, no, I never raced it. But then last time I said I never raced because I never raced at Snetterton last season and I won it. So.
Well, there you go. Stranger things could have happened, but well done tonight, buddy. And we'll see you next week at Phoenix for round 7.
Cheers, guys.
Well, I think next up we have to bring in the man from Wales, the Welsh Dragon, as we've now named him. He's the first one to take 2 wins out of 2 this season. Ryan Dudley joins us. Ryan, well, firstly, congratulations to achieve something that no one else has done, winning a feature and then doing back-to-back in the opening race. But it could have been so close had you not had a little bit of a moment coming out of Goodwood and Village towards the end of the race. It could have put you on the path for 3 for 3.
Yeah, good evening. Yeah, it was tricky, to be honest. Well, the lap 1 carriage gave me a bit of helping though. So in race 2 anyway, but yeah, race 1 was good. I need to watch it over, but it was an enjoyable track, to be honest.
I was going to say, because you like literally you were nailing it coming through out of Goodwood, going through into Village, and then you and I on whacking those tyre stacks going through into Church. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just about. I mean, that's one of the things about this circuit. It's all about a little bit of consistency, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much. Well, I know everyone kind of says it, but I only bought the track this morning, so it was nice to get a good result from it. But to be fair, Eric helped me in the first race, made me learn the track a bit, and then yeah, I got a bit of luck.
Yeah, you got a slow down penalty.
Yeah. So yeah.
But are you going to have the same situation going into Phoenix Raceway next week for round 7 when we get to the second half of the series?
I think Phoenix was in the PCC on it, so I think I've done some of that, so we're good there. But I'll probably be last in that race, knowing me. So
we'll have to see about that one anyway. But before we let you go, Ryan, well done on the back-to-back. First person to do it this series. Who do you want to give a shout out to for tonight?
Just thank you to you guys for obviously doing the stream. Thank you to Tanso, and thanks to the SimTech boys as well.
Brilliant. Well, Ryan, well done. Congratulations. First and a second tonight. We'll see you next week at Phoenix Raceway.
Cheers, guys. Have a good one.
Well, as they say, JP, Thruxton always provides cliffhanger-style racing, and boy, did we bloody have it tonight.
Oh, mate, I love this circuit. As I said, you could put, small to medium cars here, and you'd have a great evening of racing. And we've seen that. GR86s have absolutely crushed it, loved it, thought it was amazing.
Well, folks, that rounds up the coverage of our broadcast here on the JP Broadcasting Network for the Forefront Toyota GR86 Championship presented by Tanso Racing Group at Thruxton. Next week, we go from Hampshire and we go to Arizona to Phoenix Raceway as the second half of the series kicks off in North America in earnest. You've been in the company of Alex Goldschmidt and James Parfitt. And until next time, race hard, race fair. And if in doubt, like here at Thruxton, you better go flat out. We'll see you next time. Good night.